Hey, I think we've answered the question. What's the question? Before we talk about that late, it makes me, ooh, man, I want to go fishing. Anyway, we think we've answered the question. The question of what is the best AR trigger for the money? And we got it in. I'm telling you, it's the best deal for the money. Here it is. Ooh, man. And it's an easy install. You're going to love it. I'm telling you, best trigger for the money. So this is the velocity drop-in single stage trigger. It's the green drop-in. Okay. So what I did was I saved you some time and went ahead and all you do is pull out your old trigger springs. Whenever you pull these pins out, what you need to do though is make sure your hand is over the hammer, because if not, things are going to start flying. But you just take out your existing trigger springs. And then what you will do is, this trigger, you'll have to pull your safety out. And simple, pull out your grip, okay, right under there with the Allen wrench. Pull out your grip. When you do, your safety retention spring is right here. Don't let it fly across the room. When that happens, you can pull your safety out, okay, from right here. So pull your safety out, drop the trigger in, and reverse that process. So now what you have when you put the pins back in is the trigger, the drop-in trigger. You can see it's green, right? It's in there, and your pins are in. But this one doesn't come with any kind of spring to hold it in per se. What it has is down inside the trigger area. Okay, right. Don't know if you can see right in there. Trying to get where you can see that. There's some little set screws. What you will do is you will tighten those set screws up. Do not put Loctite on them. Just get them nice and tight, okay? And then, so we're going to do that real quick. So it's pretty simple. Comes with the Allen key for that. So you drop them down in there and you go ahead and tighten those down. What this will do is put pressure on the pins that you have just put in. So what I'm going to do is tighten one side just barely snug. Go ahead and tighten the other side just barely snug. And then I'm going to kind of get, okay, now we're snug, so I'm going to tighten them down a little bit. Tighten this one down. This will put pressure inside that trigger mechanism on your two pins on the side of your receiver here. So when you do that, what you'll need to do is, it comes with these two really tiny, they're kind of like set screws, locking screws. And what you will do is, it's the same Allen. So you have to be real careful. All right. Those little things right there. Can't see them. They're a little blurry. Now what you're going to need to do is turn the gun a little bit sideways to get them started. They go right on top of the screw that you just tightened. And what this will do is this will lock those in so that they don't come loose on you. So here we are, tightening that one down. It's basically a set screw, kind of like a lock screw. And just go right till you hear a little bit of a pop. When you hear that little creak, that means you got it in far enough. All right, there's the other one. And like I said, turn it a little bit sideways or that thing will decide to fall on the floor and you won't have a happy day. So get that one started. Goes right down on top of that other screw that we just, so it's a real easy install here. And listen, as far as drop-in triggers, I fully believe this is the best drop-in trigger. Okay, you hear that little creak? I don't know if you heard it. It'll just creak one time. That's where I stop. So as far as drop-in triggers, I believe this velocity trigger, I'll put the information on the screen, but I believe this velocity trigger is the best AR trigger. Works on AR-10, AR-15. It's the best drop-in trigger for the money. I paid $129 on sale, which is half the price of some of your Geissele's and other triggers. which they're great triggers. Nothing wrong with them, but they're a lot more expensive. And in my opinion, I personally like the Velocity trigger a little bit better. It's just a personal preference. So as far as drop-in, I believe this is your best bang for your buck. Now, if you're just looking to enhance your trigger a little bit, a JP Enterprises green spring upgrade is pretty good, and it's really cheap. But for, you know, a little over $100, you can get one of these drop-in Velocity single-stage drop-in triggers, and you can get it in 3, 3.5, or 4 pound. I don't think there's one higher than that, but anyway, so not something you want to do all the time. But we ended up, you have some options here. You have a straight trigger, a standard trigger, and then they have one that's kind of like a hybrid. I personally, on the Velocity trigger, I like the flat trigger face a little bit better, just for my personal preference. Nothing wrong if you like others. But you end up here, this is the 3 pound version, and you end up with a really crisp, short travel on that. You know, when it breaks, it's crisp. So don't do this a lot with your AR without a block in here, but very clean. The reset on it's really good. I mean, you know, obviously I don't have it loaded, so you can't deal with, you know, testing the reset here on it. But when you shoot the gun, it's got a great reset. It's a very crisp break. So I totally, listen, I believe this is the best trigger, the absolute best drop-in trigger for the money. I'm not saying the best trigger, but the best trigger for the money. And you know, we'll put the specs on the screen. 129, 30 bucks, you can get this thing. And listen, I really like this trigger for 130 bucks. It's not the price of a Geisley or a Timney or some of those others, but it's a dang good trigger for 130 bucks. And I would say it's a nice upgrade above a, you know, like a green spring kit from JP Enterprises. Nothing wrong with those. Last time I saw those, they were 30-ish, 40-ish dollars. I don't remember. And it's pretty good. But listen, for 130 bucks, you can get a drop-in trigger here that, I mean, it's just it's a jam-up trigger. It just drops in there. You can see it. It's a green color, and it'll come in different poundages. So there you have it. What we believe is the absolute best drop-in trigger for the money. Okay, not saying it's the best, but the best for the money. We love it. So give it a try. The Velocity drop-in single-stage trigger. We chose the flat trigger face.